Hi, I'm Tamez, and today with all my friends at RecipeLion.com, I'm really excited to bring you a really fast, fun, easy Thanksgiving dinner tutorial. And a lot of people might be intimidated by making Thanksgiving dinner, but it's really easy, it's not so bad, especially if you know what you're doing. And this is just to give you a little refresher course on how you can make it happen. So what I have right here is a nice 13-pound turkey. And I just got from the grocery store, normal grocery store turkey, nothing fancy here. But you can really make these into a nice tasty bird. So I also have some salt and pepper. And what I'm going to do is just before I start, don't forget, you want to melt a stick of butter in a saucepan. So just one stick of butter. And this stick of butter will go and coat the entire exterior of the turkey, and it will also help when we're making the gravy, because we're going to roast some vegetables in the bottom of the pan when we're roasting the turkey as well. So just go ahead and get that on the stove and get it melting. And while that's doing that, you can go ahead and season this with salt and pepper all over. And take these wings, these long flappy wings, and just go ahead and fold them under. Do it to one side. And just take it and fold it right underneath. Do it to the next. And now on the inside of the bird, instead of putting stuffing or anything like that, what I'm going to do is use some rosemary, just to perfume the cavity. And this is a really nice way to speed up the cooking time of your turkey. And if there were any plastic things, I know some birds come with a little plastic connector right here, I just remove that because I don't ever know for sure if it can go in the oven or not. So I just take it away just to be safe. But a little thermometer, you can go ahead and leave those in. We're also going to be, in addition to using this, taking the temperature with our own thermometer during the cooking process, just to keep an eye on the bird and make sure it doesn't overcook. But just take some sprigs of rosemary, just to perfume the cavity, and this really will give a nice flavor to the bird because it'll be going all through as it's cooking. So then you can go ahead and see, is your butter melted yet? And it is. So you can go ahead and take the butter, one stick, and a little pastry brush, and just go ahead and coat the entire exterior of the bird in butter. And eventually this will melt off the bird. This isn't going to stay here, but it's nice just to get a good coating on everything. Alright, so that's done. You can just get rid of that for a second. And the turkey too. Wipe off your hands. Get rid of any excess salt and pepper. And what I'm going to do is just cut up an onion just to give some flavor to our gravy and also for extra flavor throughout the cooking process. But you want to take a look at your roasting pan. And this one's nice. It has a little rack that goes right inside, but there's really not very much space for vegetables on the bottom. So that's why I'm only cutting up one onion. I'm going to cut it into small cubes. I'm going to put it right on either side. You can probably fit some carrots, and that's something else that I'm going to be putting in later. Some carrots. Just go ahead and cut your onion. Cut off the top and the bottom. And cut it in half. And take off a couple layers of the exterior to get rid of the skin. Make sure you get rid of all of it. And so just take this and cut it into a few pieces. You don't have to worry about precision here. Just make sure that they're nice, small, semi-small type of cube. Go ahead and get rid of that. And just take our rack out for a second. And put the vegetables right on either side. Lovely onion, which will roast as long as the turkey is cooking. And then right into that, you can go ahead and pour the rest of the butter. And then take your turkey, get rid of the knife. You can save the salt and pepper if you want to sprinkle a little bit more. But because I never ever can find the cooking twine, and I always buy it and I end up losing it somewhere from the grocery store to my house, to tie up the legs of the turkey, I just use a little piece of aluminum foil, and I fold it in half, and I fold it in half again to get rid of the edges, and then keep folding it until it's like a little piece of string, nice thin. And what you can do is take that will keep the legs together nicely throughout the cooking process. You don't want them moving around too much. You want this to be one nice solid bird. So go ahead and take the turkey and put it right into the roasting pan, right on the rack. And get rid of your pan. I always like to wipe off my hands, so it's a good idea to have more than one towel lying around. And then my oven, it's really important, has been preheating to 350 degrees. And for the first half hour of the cooking process, I'm going to go ahead and leave this turkey cooking with nothing on it. So I'm going to leave off any aluminum foil for the first half hour. And I'm going to bring it out and look at it and see what's going on. And then I'm probably going to cover it for the remainder of the cooking process right until the very end, where I brown it before I take it out of the oven. But you'll see. And make sure you have your racks on the lower portion of the oven, because this is a pretty high pan. And you're good to go. So for the first half hour, all you have to do is just wait and then check on the turkey. And I'll be right back and help you do that. So it's been a half hour. I set a timer after I put the turkey in, and it's something you might want to do just to keep track of the time. But what I want to do now is go ahead and check on the turkey just to see what's going on under there. So go ahead and turn off your timer, and as you know, I've already finished the cranberry sauce. I have the mashed potatoes cooking on the stove, and they haven't come up to a simmer yet, but they're going to. I can see and feel the water is getting hot in there. But don't worry, you still have quite a while for this turkey to cook, and so those mashed potatoes will be done. But back to the turkey. And you can see, after half an hour, just a half hour of cooking, how nice and on our way we are. But what I'm going to do is move the turkey for a second, because it's always really nice to have some vegetables other than onions going on in there. And when you roast carrots along with the turkey, you can actually serve them as a side dish. So I'm just going to remove the turkey for a minute, right out of the pan. Put them both on the stove because these are hot things. You don't want to burn anyone. Don't drop the turkey. And what you can do now is go ahead and cut up some carrots. Now these are whole carrots that you can get at the grocery store, really nice. And what I've done is wash them. I'm just going to run a peeler over the exterior quickly and just take off any of that rough outer carrot. And then just chop them into nice big pieces. These are going to be cooking for a while, so they can be pretty big pieces. So as I go up, 1, 2, nice size, and then as you get to the top, because this is so big, you really want to cut this in half, because it's not going to need, you don't want a piece of carrot that big, too big for someone to eat. So anyways, what you can do is just go ahead and get your pan. Make sure you're protecting your surfaces as you're going. You don't want to burn anything. Those onions are cooking away nicely, but just go ahead and put the carrots on either side too. And these will roast right along with the onions and the turkey. And they will also give a nice flavor to the gravy as they leave some brown bits on the pan. And you can serve them as a side dish, roasted carrots. How nice is that? So then go ahead and take the turkey. And make sure that when you're moving things like this, you get yourself ready in advance. Move everything out of the way. And then do it. Go ahead and put the turkey back into the roasting pan. And this shouldn't take very long. You don't want to be doing this for too long, so it's a good idea to have those carrots ready to go before you take the turkey out of the oven like I did. And now, because this has a while to go, and you can see how nice and brown this is already starting to get, just a little bit here and there, but you don't want it to burn or anything because it still has about 3.5 hours to cook. Just cover this with some aluminum foil. Or parchment paper and aluminum foil if you can find a wrap that's made of both. I know they're out there. Really nice. But just cover the bird loosely with aluminum foil. And it's hot, so don't touch it for too long. But then go right into the oven and set your timer for an hour. And then timer for 1 hour. Because you really don't need to be messing with the turkey until then. Oh, one last thing you can do though. Well, we'll do that at the next checkpoint. I don't want to take the turkey out of the oven too many times. But we'll be right back to check on that turkey in about 1 hour. So the timer just went off and it's been exactly 1 hour since the last time we checked on the turkey. And this is a time when it's not so important, but we're definitely going to do something to the turkey. We want to make sure and baste it. So go ahead and take it out and take a look. And you'll notice I have not yet even tried to check the temperature of the turkey. I know this thing is not done. We're only at an hour and a half of cooking time, but it is coming along nicely. Very pretty in there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a can of chicken stock. Just one can. You can see how nice and brown it's getting. Beautiful. Just go ahead and pour this all over the turkey. Be careful because until you get some of this liquid out of the can, it pours funny. But this is just to hydrate. This will also be part of the gravy, and this will give us some liquid as the cooking process continues with which to baste the turkey in. So it's really nice to do that. And you can go ahead and sprinkle some pepper on here again, a little bit more, because you did wash some off. And go in there with a little spoon and get some of that tasty liquid. Let's see if I can get a little bit of this. Go ahead and replace this right back on, but you can see we're well on our way to Thanksgiving. And that rosemary and the cavity is really starting to smell nice. I'll cover it this way. When the turkey's starting to get done, you don't want to press the aluminum foil so much to the skin because it can happen that the foil can actually bake to the turkey, and as you pull it off, you pull off some of that tasty, crunchy, lovely skin. So just go ahead and be ginger about it, but go ahead and put this right back into the oven. And set the timer for 1 more hour, which will put us at about 2.5 hours of baking time. So we've got just a couple more minutes left on our turkey, and the timer's going to go off in 5 minutes. But since it's been, a couple hours, 2.5 hours since we put the turkey in the oven, and I haven't checked the temperature once, and we're getting close to the 3-hour mark, I think it's time to check and see where we're at with the turkey. Now we're looking for 175 degrees with the turkey. And it looks like it's coming along nicely. And let's just see. Turkey looks pretty. And you can see how we really stopped it from coloring too much by putting on the aluminum foil. So what I'm going to do is just find a spot in the turkey and put it right into the thigh and check the thigh's temperature. And I'm also going to check the temperature in the turkey breast and poke it all over, because you really don't want to undercook the turkey. That's not what you want to do at all. So let's just see, what's that coming up to? And that is slowly inching towards, it looks like we're just about done. So this is a good temperature. And now what's going on in the turkey breast? We'll see. And it looks like that is right at 160 degrees. So we just have a little bit longer to go. So the thighs are done. Spoon. Some of that lovely broth all over the turkey, because now what we want to do is start it to brown. And that will happen pretty quickly now that it has been uncovered. There we go. And then you can go ahead and put this right into the oven. I think I'll just go ahead and leave it uncovered for a little bit and see how it browns. Now you really want to start watching this carefully because you don't want it to get too dark in the oven. And we're almost done with it being cooked, so you don't want to burn it either. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and put it in the oven. Kind of off to one side. Now what you want to do is go ahead and take some of the things that you had prepared in advance and go ahead and put them in. So we've got our really nice, lovely green bean casserole. And this is coming right out of the refrigerator. So before I pop this right into the hot oven, I'm just going to let it come up to room temperature a little bit. And we also have our apple cobbler, which will be really nice. And the same thing. Well, this isn't as cold because it hasn't been in the fridge for as long. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right in. And the apple cobbler is what's going to take the longest to cook anyways. So as you can see, the timer is going off. So it's been exactly 1 hour since the last time we checked the turkey. And it's coming along pretty nicely. Now is also the time, now that we're coming up to the last 45 minutes or so of our Thanksgiving dinner cooking process, you really want to make sure and you turn the potatoes up. You can see they've cooked a lot and they'll start to crack. That's how you know they're starting to be done. But you really just want to be sure. So go ahead and turn up your heat just a little bit and make sure they're boiling nicely. You're going to go ahead and let this continue to cook all throughout the duration. And the mashed potatoes are one of the last things that comes together. But I'm going to let these warm up to room temperature and I'll be right back. So the timer has just gone off and it's been about 25 minutes since the last time we checked on the turkey and took the temperature and took the foil off, and you can see how just 20 minutes uncovered really will change the color of the turkey, and it's a nice golden lovely brown right now, which is exactly what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and take the temperature one more time. Let's go right into the turkey breast. See it go up. And when you see the temperature rising quickly on the gauge, that's usually a good symbol. So it goes right past 160. Perfect, and that is done. That's exactly what you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove this and move the turkey out of this pan because this is the pan we're going to make the gravy in. Take your turkey and remove it and put it right onto a separate baking sheet. Go ahead and any liquid that might have accumulated in the turkey, go ahead and pour out. It's tasty and flavorful. But be careful, this is very hot. So go ahead and take this, put it on the counter. Away from worry of spilling or anything else. And it's not a bad idea to cover it with just a little bit of plastic wrap. Or not plastic wrap, aluminum foil. Just to keep it nice. And then you're going to let that turkey rest for quite a little bit. Now, what I want to do is get a strainer. I also want to get a bowl for all these lovely vegetables, at least the carrots, and some tongs. So remove all the carrots because these are a side dish and tasty and delicious. Those are always tasty, tasty. And so what I'm going to do is just take this bowl right here and dump all of this liquid right into and through the strainer. Go ahead and get rid of those, put those somewhere. But look, I have a little gravy separator, and these really do work. So what you're going to do is just go ahead and pour your liquid right into this. It's been strained, so you don't have to worry. That's why we strained it. But this will, and you can see, ooh, what a pretty color that is. This will separate some of the fat from the actual cooking liquid. And while we do want a little bit of fat, we don't want all of that fat. And you can see how quickly it's already starting to separate. See that line right there? All this is very tasty. It doesn't take very long at all. Alright, so this has all been poured in and separated. A lot of the fat has separated from the liquid. And so all that you need to do is take some flour, put right in there into the pan. And this is about 3 tablespoons of flour. And you're going to take some of that fat, just a little bit. You're going to go ahead and make a roux. And if you want, you can also supplement this with a little bit of butter, even though I kind of prefer this fat up here. And even if you stir it around a little bit, getting some of this fat out, it will separate again. But this is so much more flavorful. Getting a little liquid is okay. There. Should be enough. So what you're going to do is just cook this into a roux. And the wooden spoon is a lot nicer. I should have used wood. Cook it up, and if you see that you need a little bit more fat, go ahead and feel free. It's usually about a 1-to-1 ratio. And just cook this for a little bit. Make sure you get all those pieces of butter and flour mixed together. You don't want any dry bits anywhere. But then you just cook this out. Switch to a whisk now. And you'll take all the liquid. You'll start pouring it until you start to see the fat come out. And this will be our gravy. You don't have to pour all the liquid in at once. You kind of have to do it slowly because you don't want any of that flour to get lumpy. As you can see, it starts to thicken. Go ahead and pour some more. And then stop right as you get to that layer of fat. And go ahead and whisk, whisk, whisk. Now if it's a little too thick and it looks like it might be getting a little too thick, you can go ahead and thin it out with just a little bit of chicken stock. Not too thick. Almost just right. Now what you want to do is season for salt and pepper, so you'll have to taste. And it shouldn't need too much salt, but it does need a little pepper, and that is right here. And then here, let me show you how nice and coatable that is. You can see how it coats the back of the spoon. Now there's a little bit of flour in here that got lumpy, so what we're going to do is strain that out. So go ahead and take a bowl. And a strainer. But then just go ahead and strain this right through. And that is your gravy. Easy, easy, easy. And once it goes through the strainer, it's silky smooth and delicious and delectable. You can just let this sit and strain out. And we didn't need any of the salt. So once that's all done being strained, you can go ahead and put it into any serving dish you'd like, and you're ready to go. Well, at least with the gravy. So we are in our home stretch for Thanksgiving. And the last things, as you know, we already took out the turkey, we made the gravy, we just need to finish the mashed potatoes and take out the green bean casserole and the apple cobbler. So what I want to do right now, speaking of those two, they're still cooking, but I can see that they're very close to being done. So what I want to do is go ahead and remove the aluminum foil and let them brown on top, because I can see that the apples are bubbling, and that's always good, and I want this to brown now. But it looks good and smells really tasty. And the same with green bean casserole. It's time to remove that aluminum foil, and I went ahead and put the carrots back into the oven in a little glass bowl just to keep them warm. But it's time to go ahead and brown everything up, and that green bean casserole will brown quickly, so keep an eye on it. So here is, first of all, our turkey, which is so beautiful. Put this right here. We have our mashed potatoes right behind. Our green bean casserole that is delectable and done. Let's see if I can make a little display. We have our turkey sauce, turkey cranberry sauce I mean, all nice and put away. So pretty. We have our stuffing in the oven. We have our apple cobbler browning up. Some carrots in the oven too. Carrots. Stuffing. And you can go ahead and let that brown up a little bit more, but just to show you the kind of spread, we have our gravy right here for the turkey. And the apple cobbler, which just needs to brown a little bit on top, and you're done. You have turkey dinner ready in about 4 hours. It's simple, it's easy, and with all my friends at recipeline.com, I'm really happy to share it with you.